Yesterday was the longest day of the year, which means starting today, every single day between now and December 23rd, roughly, gets a little bit shorter. And I want to show you why that's the best news you're going to hear all summer. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Lisa, and this is week 4 of June, Savoring the Long Light. Now that the longest day is behind us, today is about the descent from the peak and why it's the part of summer most worthy being fully awake for. Here's the thing about peaks. We've trained to chase them. The biggest day, the biggest vacation, the perfect moment we're sure is coming if we just push a little harder. And then the peak arrives, the solstice, the longest day, the most light of the entire year, and almost nobody stops to stand inside it. We're already looking ahead to the next big thing. So when the peak passes, it can feel like a small loss. The days are technically getting shorter now. Something in us reads that as decline, but I want to offer you a completely different way to hold it. The descent is not the end of summer. The descent is summer. Almost the entire season, July, August, and the warm edge of September, happens on this side of the peak on the way down. The longest day wasn't the finish line, it was the doorway. There's a researcher named Fred Bryant at Loyola University, Chicago, who has spent his career studying something he calls savoring. Not gratitude exactly, and not just enjoyment. Savoring is the deliberate act of noticing a good thing while it's happening and choosing to stretch it out. Bryant's work shows that people who savor on purpose report measurably higher well being than people who simply have a good experience and then just let that slide past. I'm looking at you, Corinne, because you're the one who taught me about savoring. And here's the part that matters for today. Bryant found that knowing something is finite, knowing that it won't last forever, it doesn't spoil it. It does the exact opposite. The awareness that a thing is passing is what makes us finally pay attention to it. Think about the last evening of a trip. You notice everything, the light, the air, the faces, because you know it's ending. That's savoring. In fact, right before we left Hawaii, I was listening to Jimmy Buffett's song Dukes on Sunday, because it's about a little beach bar that he used to frequent in Hawaii. So, summer just handed you that exact gift. The clock has quietly turned and the days are numbered now in the gentlest way. And that's precisely what can wake you up to them. And let me add the layer of Bryant's work that people almost always miss. Savoring isn't only about the present moment. Bryant found that there are 3 time tenses to it. You can savor forward, anticipating something good and letting the looking forward itself be a pleasure. You can savor now, being fully inside the moment as it's actually happening. And you can savor back, reminiscing, returning to a good memory on purpose, and letting it warm you a second time. Most of us do none of the 3. We rush towards the thing, blur through it while it's here, and forget it by the weekend. The descent gives you all 3 at once. You can anticipate the slow summer still ahead, think into the warm evening you're actually in, and look back tonight at one good thing from today. That's a whole life lived inside an ordinary day. This is where the 7 mindful questions come in, starting with question 1, aware, what am I doing right now? Most of summer disappears not because it's short, but because we're not in it. We're on our phones, even when we're outside in the backyard. We're working through the long evenings as if there were any other evenings. Awareness is just the decision to actually be where the light is. And question 6, better. What can I do better? Not better as in more productive, better as in more present. If last week the long light came and went and you barely clocked it, this week you get to do it differently. You get to catch it on the way down. So here's what the descent actually asks of you. It asks you to stop waiting for the next peak and start savoring the slope you're standing on. The warm Tuesday that isn't special. The 8:30 sun that's still up while you do the dishes. The fact that it's June 22nd and you have the whole long, slow, golden season stretched out in front of you. None of that requires more time. It just requires more attention. And that's the whole practice. So here's today's challenge. Sometime today, catch one ordinary summer moment and deliberately stretch it out by 30 seconds. The first sip of something cold, the warm air when you step outside, the late light on a wall. Don't rush past it. Stay in it for a full 30 count. And that's savoring. That's how you keep the season from slipping by. So here's what to do right now. Hit subscribe because we've got a whole summer of long light to walk through together. And share this with the person who's always saying summer goes by too fast. And tell me in your comments, what's the one summer thing you refuse to let slip by this year? Then close your laptop and go stand in it. The light isn't going to wait for you, and neither should you. Like, subscribe, share, do all the things. Thanks so much. I'm Dr. Lisa.